Well, hi, everybody. I'm Don Stewart, and welcome to a very special edition of Breaking News for this Sunday. It is the 6th day of July, 2025. And in this special edition, we're going to talk about something big that is going to happen very, very soon, it seems, in the Middle East, in the country of Iran. And we're telling you this because we want you to be in prayer. Now, let me give you the background and put this all into perspective. Recall last week, we were told that the U.S. and Israel would not allow Iran to keep getting away with enriching uranium and not allowing inspectors on the soil. Consequently, they were going to do something about it. Now, along that line, we've just found out the following information. First of all, Iran has no top tier leadership left. They're all gone. They've all been taken out with the previous attacks. Number two, everything looks like Reza Pahlavi, he's the eldest son of the late Shah of Iran, has gotten Britain and the rest of the Western world behind his plan for a regime change in Iran. This also includes support from the Saudis. Intel suggests that Putin and Russia will not help Iran with nukes if something like this is attempted to take place. Now we've got a wild card here, two of them actually, China and North Korea. And that's another story. We're not sure how they're going to react. Iran is hurting. They've just been embarrassed by Israel. We know that less than 30% of the Iranians practice Islam and less than 20% support the current regime. Couple this with Netanyahu coming to the USA tomorrow, as well as stories being planted in the news about Israel and the US not interested in a regime change. It seemed like what happened before the last attack on June 12th by Israel will happen again soon. In other words, misdirection to catch Iran by surprise as Israel again attacks. Now, note the following story that just came out from the Jewish News Syndicate that supports this idea. Here is their headline. Inside the high stakes summit, Israel is planning something massive, Jewish News Syndicate. What's being negotiated behind closed doors at the White House? And could it reshape the Middle East forever? And then they have this byline. Is a quiet military surprise underway behind the diplomatic theater? Now, this is their headline and byline. They seem to know that something big is in the works. In other words, what we seem to have happened will happen soon is another attack on Iran, but this time it's to bring about a regime change. With the way they have worded the story, it seems that an attack will be imminent, while Netanyahu will be here in the USA with President Donald Trump. Now, we've told you this before it happens for one reason. We want you to pray. If indeed it does take place, it will be a huge game changer for the Middle East as well as for the people of Iran. In addition, if this attempt is made, we do not know how China and North Korea, what they may do, how they'll respond. In other words, it could get really ugly. We'll have more to say about this later. Right now, we'll ask you just to pray. Pray that if it's God's will, then this horrible regime will be overthrown and the many believers in Iran will be able to worship openly and without fear. Now, as far as the last day's prophecy is concerned, it would raise some really interesting possible scenarios, and we'll talk about all this later. So for now, here's the bottom line. It seems that another military campaign against Iran will happen soon, very soon. We just wanted you to know. Again, please pray. I'm Don Stewart. Until next time, as always, may the Lord richly, richly bless.